right, here we go. All right. Now, again, the first thing I want to do is talk about yesterday, if you had any questions with the ends. All right, so I'm going to go back to solving equations, multi-step solutions. So here are all the answers. So now, what I need to do is, does anybody have any questions and they want me to show you a particular one? Remember, I did kind of post the solutions. All right, so I do kind of want you to try to work backwards a little bit if you can, but let's talk. Mr. Strickland.
39.
All right, so we're going to take a look at 39. Perfect. So let's look at this right here. Make sure I'm out of the way. Blow this up a little bit. Now, there's several ways, and we talked about this. We're trying to isolate the a minus 3. All right, so in order to isolate the a minus 3, we're going to subtract 9 from both sides. Do you agree with that, Mr. Strickland? And then multiply by the reciprocal.
Oh, yeah.
Does that help you now? Do I need to do anything else? Are you good?
That was fine. I messed up. Okay, I see where I did.
That's all I want to hear. Good job. Very good. Very, very good. All right. Someone else now. I told someone in the last class, I'm going to walk around the room and I'm going to look at your iPads. And they didn't do 3 or 4 questions. I said, why didn't you do 3 or 4 questions? Because I didn't know how to do them. That's what we're talking about right now. You're supposed to tell me the problems you want me to go over with you. Miss Brandeis. 30 what?
37.
All right, let's look at this right here. Let's see if you're seeing it. All right. So up here, you see how this quantity is being divided by 7, right? So I have to multiply both sides by 7. See that now? Now we went right here. Are you good with this? Okay. Bella, you have any questions? Very good. Oscar. All right, Oscar wants to take a look at 49. So here we go. They give you enough time to look at it. All right, so here we go. Now again, this was the hard one. Okay. So let's take a look at this and see if you can follow. All right. Now, notice here, all right, notice here we had to do the distributive property. All right, we had to work on the inside. This one's hard, so please try to keep an eye up. Try to stay focused. See if you can see what I'm doing. All right, I had to distribute inside the bracket first. Did you ask me to do this problem or not? I distributed, and then I combined terms. The blue is highlighted because that's 1. The -3 and the -2 made the -5. Oh, no, I'm sure. Not too bad, right? All right. Okay, feels good. Congratulations. Honestly, if you got that one, you're in great shape as far as the equations go. Really good shape. All right, that's really difficult, actually. All right, my homeschool people, is there any problem you'd like me to look at? Homeschool peeps? Nobody? Everybody's good?
No.
All right, I'm assuming you guys are okay because I haven't heard anything. Oh, good for you, Miss Nelson. 31. All right, here we go. Let's blow up 31 here real quick and see where you made your mistake. Oh, I'm sorry, thank you. 31. Most people make a mistake distributing the negative. They forget that the -7 should be a +7. You with me on that? All right, were you able to find out your mistake or see? All right, that's what you need to be able to do. Look at a solution, figure what you did, look at what I did, see where there's a mistake, and see if you can correct it. Anybody else? Nobody? All right, so in a minute, I'll walk around the room after I get done a few minutes early, and then I will double check and make sure you've got those worked out. All right, anybody have any questions? All right, let's go ahead and pull up the next assignment, please. All right, everybody click back, and we want solve equations with variables on both sides. If you notice, I did the odds with the other 8th grade class. So now I'm going to come over with you, and we're going to do the evens. All of the odd answers are already posted online as far as the video goes. All right? So watch the video if you're not sure about a particular problem. All right, after tomorrow's class, I will submit all of the answers. All right, then you kind of look where you made your mistake. All right? So now, what I did on this particular worksheet is I started from the very beginning, basic problems, and we're going to get down to harder and harder as we go down the page. All right? So the first 5 or 6 maybe are review problems. All right, so let's take a look at number 2. All right, everybody tell me about number 2.
-13.
Right? Everybody should be able to look at that and just say the answer is -13. Now, here's what I'm telling you. I don't want you to do -4, -4, draw a line. That is called what? Boring. That's boring. That's mental math. Everybody should be able to look at this and say, obviously, we subtract 4 from both sides. All right? Obviously, we subtract 4 from both sides. All right? And so I have x is equal to -13. Now, if you're looking at it saying, I'm not 100% sure why it's -13, now we can talk. Everybody's good. Brian, we all good? Nobody else. All right, let's move on. Now, we've done this one 1,000 times. How do we undo division? Multiplication. I don't have to put multiply by -4, multiply by -4 anymore. I want you to be able to look at that and just say, obviously, x equals
32.
What? 32. Obviously, x equals 32. Everybody good? Any questions? All right, here we go. Number 6. Now we have fractions. All right, come on, please. All right, all I have to do is what on this one? Subtract what? A half from both sides. All right, so here we go. 2 fractions. 1/5 minus 1/2. Everybody should be able to tell me the common denominator is what?
10.
10. So now make yourself of 10. Make a long line or a long fraction bar. Because what am I multiplying the first fraction by? 2. Thank you. So if I multiply this by 2, that becomes 2. The second fraction I'm multiplying by what?
5.
5. So your brain should be able to tell you it's just 2 minus 5, which is what? -3/10. So x is equal to -3/10. Now notice what I tried to do. I tried to go back to the beginning and go to the basics to review everything to make sure you're okay. Anybody have any questions with those fractions? You should be able to knock out the fractions pretty easy now. Anybody have any issues? Yes, sir.
I'm having issues with problems. I just can't find the
I don't know what you mean. You mean it's on Classroom? No. No, it might be below the solution.
You're not checking that you got this right. You're not even on the right page. You're on page 2. You're checking to see if you got these right. We will go over number 11 together.
All right, give me a second, guys. Someone's having.
Promise you that.
All right.
Down.
Here we go.
All of them.
Online is not on mute, so I'm hearing their parents talking in the background. here we go. Now, on number 8. Here we go. Dividing by 4. How do I get rid of dividing by 4? Multiply by 4. Now, again, everybody should be able to say 2/3 times 4. Now, remember, I'm just going to put it over here even though it's not necessary. Everybody should be able to look at 2/3 times 4 and say that's obviously what? 8 over what? Not 8 over 12. Because remember, 4 is the same as 4 over 1. So now you just learned something.
8 over 3.
Right? It's what?
8 over 3.
8 over 3. X equals 8 over 3. Again, continuing to work on our fractions. Anybody have any issues with that? Any issues? What?
But if the x is 1 4, it would be 7.
I'm just multiplying both sides by 4, buddy. And then that 4 and that 4 cross out.
Oh.
All right? All right, let's talk about 10 now. All right, now we just have a 2-step equation. Now, listen. We're now in a position where we understand I'm separating the variables and the numbers. That's what we're doing. We're putting the variables on one side and the numbers on one side. Right now, I need to eliminate the +3. To eliminate the +3, I just have to do what?
-3.
Subtract 3. Thank you, Jack. Subtract 3. Now, your brain should be able to tell you -15 minus 3 is what?
-18.
-18 is equal to 9x. And now we just divide by 9. And when you divide by 9, you should be able to tell me that's just x equals -2. Now, does anybody have any questions on number 10? Anybody have any questions on number 10? That's still like a good overview. We haven't gotten into anything new right now. All right. Now, here we go. Number 12. Now I threw in some decimals. All right. We're going to do what to both sides?
Minus or add.
We're adding 1.5. All right. Now, sometimes it's a little bit harder for kids to see the decimals. So I have 2x is equal to. Now, am I adding or subtracting those decimals? Subtracting because the signs are different. So 5.2. Now the question is the decimal positive or negative?
Negative.
It's negative. So here we go. 2x equals -5.2. Does anybody have any problems with that? Any issues? Now I'm just dividing both sides by 2. So you should be able to look at that and say x is equal to. How many times does 2 go into 5?
Twice.
Twice, with 1 left over. Notice where I'm putting the 1. Now 2 goes into 12 6 times, and we can't forget the what?
Decimal.
Can't forget the decimal, and then you can't forget the what?
9 is
Negative.
Negative. So the answer is -2.6. Now again, really and truly, there's nothing I can do for you. It's not speaking up here. Everybody's good, right? All right, here we go. Let's take a look at number 14. Now 14, all right, we're going to talk about real quick. All right. This, I want everybody to put down, is a contradiction.
It's the 0 with the line through it.
That is exactly correct. Is it possible for a number to equal itself and itself plus 1?
No.
It's not possible. 3 can't equal 3 plus 1. All right, that's a contradiction. How do I know it's a contradiction? I know it's a contradiction when the variables on the left equal the variables on the right. All right, now what we could do is we could say, okay, if I subtract x from both sides, I'm left with 0 is equal to 1. Is that a true statement? No, that is a false statement. If it's a false statement, we say it's a 0 with a line through it, which means it is no solution. All right, there is no solution. Make sure you're with me on that. That's a new topic. No solution. Any issues with 14? All right, let's have some more fun. All right, here we go. 16. All right, who can tell me what's a quick way to do this? What can I do first?
Distribution.
Yeah.
But it's a little quicker if I do what?
Division.
By 4. The reason why I can divide by 4 is because of this. 4 and 28. 28 is divisible by 4. So it'd be nice to keep the number small by dividing by 4. So 2x minus 5 equals what?
Negative 24.
Negative 7. Jack, we're dividing, not adding.
Right, right.
All right, no problem. Now, how do I undo a minus 5?
You add 5.
Brain should be just telling you 2x equals what?
2.
No.
Negative 2.
1.
Negative 2.
Negative 2. Yeah.
Final figures to do what? Divide by 2. So you should be able to look at that and say x equals what? This is how I'm wanting it, right like that, guys. That's how I want it. All right, nice, neat, organized, easy for me to grade. Shouldn't be sloppiness. All right, you can leave out all the other steps now because you are good at adding and subtracting, multiplying and dividing integers. All right, hopefully you're happy with that so far. Hopefully you zip through those 16 feeling pretty confident. All right, if not, I wrote some notes to some of you. You got to speak up. I can't help if you don't speak up. All right, here we go. 18. All right, now we got a good problem here. 18, I have to distribute twice. So what's 4 times 1/2? Tell me. 4 half of 4. 2x. Now, 4 times negative 6.
Minus 24.
Negative 24 equals. Now I have to distribute the 2/3. Now, 2/3 times 6. 2 times 6 is 12. 12 divided by 3 is 4. So you can say 4x. Now, I like to divide first. So 36 divided by 3 is 12, and then 12 times 2 is, so it's minus 24. Now look, I need everybody to look at that problem right there and make sure that you understand the numbers, all right? And if you can't see the numbers, for whatever reason with the fraction, it didn't sink in, you put your hand up and say, hey, I don't know how you got 24. Hey, how'd you get 4? So everybody here is telling me you're all good with those fractions, right? Everybody's good. All right, I'm happy with you. Okay, now we come to the new lesson for today. All right, the new lesson is, again, I have variables on both sides of the equation. So I want everybody at the top, right here, make yourself a note. I'm trying to get the variables on the left side of the equation, and I'm trying to get the what? The numbers on the right side of the equation. Now look, that's a note that should be going down. All right? I want the variables on the left side. And some people you say, well, left of what? The left of the what? Equal sign. I want the numbers on the right side of the equal sign. All right? So now, I want everybody to take a look right here. Or I can put the numbers on the left side, and I can put the what? Variables on the what? The right side. I can put the variables on the left, numbers on the right, or I can put the numbers on the left and the variables on the right. You have an option. Now, why do I say there's an option? Because my ultimate goal is to always make the variable what? Always to make the variable positive. That's what I'm trying to do. All right, I'm always trying to keep the variable positive. I'm always trying to keep the variable positive. All right, so now what does that mean for this problem down here? All right, please look up for a second. I want to show you something. I'm trying to move the variables on one side and the numbers on one side, but you're not looking up, so you can't see what I'm doing. If I move the 4x over here, my answer is going to be negative, correct? I prefer the variable to be positive. So instead of moving the 4x over here, I'm going to move the what? 2x over. That's what we're doing. All right? So now look, when I move the 2x over, right now it's positive. So on the other side, it's going to be what? Right, I'm going to do minus 2x, minus 2x. Now I have a minus 24, so when I'm going to do what? Add 24 to both sides. So this is the step that is required for today. Now again, why do we do that? All right, because things will now cancel out. Negative 24, positive 24. Cancels out. Wow, and so it cancels out over here also. So that gives me what? That gives me 0 is equal to 2x. So 0 is equal to 2x. Everything on the left side canceled out to 0. So now the question is basically what times 2 is 0? And the answer is 0 is an answer. It is possible. So if I divide both sides by 2, I just end up with x equals 0. All right, that's a great question. X equals 0. All right, lots of steps. All right, let's check out the next one. All right, here we go, guys. For 20, 4 times 3 is what? 12x. 4 times negative 7.
Negative 20.
Negative 28. Plus 10x, or plus 10, sorry, equals 12x minus 18. So now we want to combine terms. So now we have a little bit of issue. What is this guy right here?
Positive.
That's negative 18, right? So now we're going to write 12x minus 18 equals 12x minus 18. All right, then I need everybody to put a star right here, please. All right. This is referred to as an identity. All right, this is referred to as an identity. And when we say identity, we mean that x could be all real numbers. And I'm going to show you the symbol for all real numbers. All real numbers is 1 line, 2 lines, and then make it all. That's the symbol for all real numbers. All right. Now, why is it all real numbers again? Because 12x minus 18 always equals what? 12x minus 18. Are you okay with that? Any questions? All right. Let's move down. A couple more to go. Let's look at 22. All right, now this one I would specifically like because I'm distributing a negative 1. And a lot of people make a mistake distributing a negative 1. So here we go. 6x. Negative 1 times x. Negative x. Negative 1 times 3. Negative 3 equals 3x. Now, what is happening with 6x minus 1x? That's right. So now we have 5x minus 3 equals 3x. Everybody with me on that? Now what? Subtract 5x because I'm trying to get the variables together. Negative 3 equals, what's 3 minus 5?
Negative 2x.
Negative 2x. And then we divide both sides by -2, and I'm just going to write it even though it's not necessary. I want you to be able to look at that and say x is equal to what? 3/2. X equals 3/2. Very good. All right, I'm tricky now. Yes, sir.
5x plus 3 equals 3x. Oh, wait, never mind.
Distribute the negative properly. That's the common mistake. All right, let's knock out 24. Here we go, guys. All right, 24. All right, distribute 2 times 5x. What is that?
10x.
10x. 2 times -9.
Or negative.
-18 minus 7 equals 6x minus 12. All right, everybody go to that? Now we got to combine terms. Here we go. Combining terms here. Everybody okay with that? So what's -18 minus 7?
Negative 25.
-25.
Thank you. 10x minus 25 equals 6x minus 12. Now here's the new part for today. Variables to the left, numbers to the right. Variables to the left, numbers to the right. So here I'm going to again demonstrate minus 6x, minus 6x. How do I get rid of -25? Add 25, add 25. So now you just have 4x equals 13. Now what do I have to do? Divide by 4. So x equals 13 over 4. Okay. Now again, for us, I believe, let's go ahead and do 26. All right, we'll do one more. All right. Everybody take a look now at number 26 because it's got fractions. A lot of kids had trouble. All right, but we don't have trouble anymore with fractions because we reviewed a lot. All right. So first of all, which one's bigger, 3/4 or 2/5? 3/4. So I want to move the 2/5 over to the right side. All right, now if you didn't know 3/4 was bigger, 3/4 is more than half, and 2/5 is less than half. All right, so on your paper, here we go. I'm going to do minus 2/5, minus 2/5. Now that I've brought the variable over here, I need to bring the number over here. So I'm going to do what? Minus 8. And then I'm going to let Oscar ask me the question. Minus 8. All right, Oscar. In my notes, I said or. Right? It was variables could go on the left and numbers could go on the right, or you could put all the numbers on the left and the variables on the right. Very good. Because we're trying to isolate the variable. We're trying to put the variables together and the numbers together. You have to go on opposite sides of each other. Good on that? Thank you, Oscar. All right, so here we go. So now let's just cross them out just so you can see. This crosses out. This crosses out. So we'll go ahead and do -5 minus 8, which is what? 1. -5 minus 8. What?
I think it's 7 over 20.
Hold on. Alden, you gotta speak up. Well, you think it does, but I told you it doesn't. So I would go with my explanation. That's exactly correct. Except one will be positive and one will be what? Negative. But you will see that you'll get the same answers, just opposite signs. So when you divide, it will go back to the same sign. All right, trust me, all right? I think it's easier if you try to keep the variable positive than just move it always to the left. All right, so stay with me and I'll demonstrate that. All right, here we go. 3/4 minus 2/5 and -5 minus 8. Well, I've waited patiently, so that's -13. So they agree with that. Now, what's the common denominator here, guys? 20. Now notice, big fraction bar. What am I multiplying the first fraction by? 5. What's 5 times 3? 15 minus. Now what am I multiplying the second fraction by? 4.
4.
2 times 4 is
8.
That's how you should be thinking about the fractions. And now, what is 15 minus 8? So now I have 7/20 x. Now, I need to multiply by the reciprocal. What is the reciprocal? 20/7. So now we should be going, well, I'm smart enough, I already knew that. So I'm just going to put 20/7 over here and cross this out. So can anything be reduced? No. Positive or negative? Negative. 260 over what? 7, because that's over 1. All right. Yes. That's just because you did it wrong. I promise you, you did it wrong. You just did it wrong. That's all. All right. I'll demonstrate because you're asking me. I'll show you that I'm right. Okay. You should find your mistake. All right. Here we go. Now, what I'm going to do for Oscar and what I'm going to do for Alden is I'm going to show you them how it doesn't make a bit of difference. All right. Those of you guys who believe me, you can just watch up here. All right. But they moved the 3/4 over here and they moved the 5 over there. All right. So if we do that, please watch. -3/4 x, -3/4 x, plus 5, plus 5. That gives me 13 is equal to, now this right here becomes -7/20 x. Good me on that, Oscar? And now what? Multiply by the reciprocal, -20/7, -20/7, and magic, -260/7. So it doesn't matter which order you do it in. It does not matter, I promise you.
Hey.
I just did it both ways. I don't know what you're talking about. I thought you subtracted the x. So are you asking me what is 2/5 minus 3/4? Is that what you're asking me? You want the x to be gone? 3x minus 5x is -2. That's not true. The x's stay with it. When you're combining terms, you don't eliminate the x. When you're combining terms, you don't eliminate the x. All right? So again, Oscar and Alden, listen, I think that was a good lesson. All right, do you hear me? It's easy to make a mistake with the negative. That's why I try to tell kids, try to make the variable positive. That's one less negative you have to deal with. All right? Now, I'm going to close up, and you're responsible for what? Going through the odds. Now, listen to me. If for some strange reason you're going, man, I'm not sure how to do the odds, you can hear me. I know you don't want to, right? But you can listen to my other class explanation on 1 through 25 odds if you want to do that. You shouldn't have a question. All right, all of them should be completed because I gave you the worked out solutions on YouTube. Just listen again. You should check your work. All right, if you want to be amazing, that's what amazing people do. Verify your answers. Don't take your own word for it because you just might make a mistake, right, Oscar? Highly unlikely, I know, highly unlikely, but it is possible. All right, so please double check your work. Yes. Anytime you need to go to the restroom, you do not have to ask me, you just have to go and hurry and come back. All right, so my homeschool kids, hopefully you guys understood me. I think it was a good lesson. Please work on 1 through 25 odds and make sure those are taken care of. All right, thank you guys. Have a wonderful day.